Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autobots and Decepticons. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
I'm your other host, Nero.
Yeah, and today we finish season 1 of G1 with not so much of a bang, but a whimper.
It was supposed to be a bang. The writers clearly intended it for it to be a bang, but
Unfortunately, they ran out of their budget doing Ultimate Doom.
Yeah, clearly that's what happened here. So I'm pretty sure that Heavy Metal War is supposed to be the season finale. Orders are weird.
It is absolutely supposed. It is without question supposed to be the season finale.
A lot of places put Plague of Insecticons as the last episode of season 1, but that's bullshit.
It's not the last episode of season 1.
No way.
It is very, very clear that Heavy Metal War is the last episode of season 1.
Yeah, but before we get to the big, bombastic, beautiful finale, we gotta talk about the follow-up to Ultimate Doom, the sort of weird fourth part that isn't, really connected to it, but also totally is. Countdown to Extinction.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it is absolutely connected to it. It's just...
Nothing about the name would indicate that.
Right, but it is very much a direct continuation. So here's something I figured out about G1, and this is really sort of exemplified in this episode, is that every character in G1 is exactly as intelligent as they need to be in every episode, which is why Starscream is both one of the canonically smartest and in actuality smartest characters you see in this series, as you'll see in this episode, where he is both very intelligent and also just a sicko, just a complete freak.
Mm-hmm.
But also why he's a moron.
Yeah.
So this is another very Starscream centric episode. Optimus and Megatron basically do a Three Stooges act in the middle of it. Like they're the two stooges over here, neither of them smarter than the other. And meanwhile, Starscream is almost like wiping out a planet. Comes quite close to being successful at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we start off here immediately after the end of the Ultimate Doom, where we actually do get to see all the fucking destroyed coastal cities with the millions upon millions dead. Okay, we don't see the second part, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's implied.
It's all they're fucking destroyed. These cities are ruins.
Damn, if only there were some construction robots that could help rebuild that.
Unfortunately, for some reason, it wasn't the Autobots who built those because they like to build stuff.
Yeah.
You'd think that it'd be reversed and that the Autobots would build the construction robots to help with all that, and the Decepticons would do crimes against God and build a bunch of big, powerful dinosaur sons. But no.
Or alternatively, another really strong flyer team.
Yeah, no. They're gonna build some construction vehicles that can get really tall. But first,
but that's the next episode.
Yeah, so we're everyone's helping rebuild. All the Autobots are helping rebuild. We see Ironhide filling in some fucking potholes in the road with his liquid cement. Thanks, man. You're doing great. That skyscraper over there is about to fall on the fucking FEMA camp, but you are keeping the roads slightly better than they were before.
Well, you know what? When all the ambulances have to arrive to give, emergency aid to the people in that crushed FEMA camp, then they'll be able to do so without worrying about crashing. So, it's about the big game, Nero. The long game.
The
big picture.
The fucking big picture. The Decepticons are also rebuilding their particular base because, remember, it also got pretty fucked up during that whole thing.
Again, not in the way it should have.
No.
But not cannot emphasize enough how water works that was, but...
And immediately we see Skywarp and Rumble beefing. They're just arguing about some fucking bullshit.
Stupid. These fucking assholes sharing a neuron like the Fates and Hercules with an eyeball. Like, just passing it back and forth to each other, the one neuron that they have.
Also, hey, Frenzy's here. The other
That's
other
right,
guy.
yes.
This is his first fucking appearance, and it's to pop out of a hole and complain about what's going on.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the MO of Soundwave's shitty kids.
Yeah, and then Thundercracker comes up and tells Skywarp to knock it the fuck off. And get back to work. And then Soundwave comes in and is like, you're one to talk, Thundercracker. And then Rumble jumps onto Skywarp's face like he's fucking Iggy from Stardust Crusaders.
I mean, which one do I like less? Hard to call.
They're both wretched little shits, but at least one farts way less. Yeah. I'm not going to say zero farts, because we don't know, but at least less frequently than the other one. However, he is from New Jersey. You have to consider that.
Oh, believe me, it is a significant part of my consideration.
But all of this stupid bullshit is interrupted when Dad comes home. Megatron opens the door and tells everyone to shut the fuck up. How did he get here?
Don't worry about it.
The last
honestly.
so I'm trying to put it together. So last time we saw him, he had been exploded in his stupid little fucking space shuttle, Astro Train 1.0. And he was like floating through space. Now later we learned that Shockwave has no idea of his alive or dead status. So he didn't go back to Cybertron and get space bridged back. So
Oh, and a good thing to remember here as well is that conspicuously missing from this scene is, of course, Starscream, who has been AWOL with Arkeville since the end of Ultimate Doom.
Yeah, as everyone informs Megatron when he pops back up, he's like, yeah, so because immediately Megatron's like, where's that little fleshy son of a bitch Arkeville? I'm gonna squish him, and they have to tell him like, well, he's gone, and so is Starscream.
Yeah, and Megatron just like looks at the camera and goes, I don't trust like that.
No. And conveniently, Laserbeak returns from a little spying mission where he plays some audio he captured of Starscream and Arkeville, where they're like, hey, take me to your secret lab. And Arkeville's like, okay.
Now, I will say, again, Starscream makes a lot of mistakes in G1, and he ends up getting bitten in the ass for it. This is another one of those occasions where he had pretty good reason to legitimately think Megatron was dead, and he was sort of in the right here.
Yeah.
Like,
his ship blew up.
Yeah, like this is not actually, I mean, well, he was planning it before Megatron sort of died, so it still was betrayal. But, like, there is very good reason for him to think that Megatron is dead. Like, he is not at this point acting behind Megatron's back.
No, because he thinks
consciously, at least.
He thinks his back no longer exists because he...
Exactly. He thinks his back is space ash.
I must remind everyone, his spaceship was filled with energon cubes, which exploded with him in it.
With enough force to knock a planet out of orbit.
But he's fine.
But he's fine.
Which makes Spike's question next episode even more absurd than it already is. But we'll get there.
I know.
He's so fucking stupid. So...
Yeah. Anyway, so Starscream's like, alright, Arkeville, let's fucking go. You're not a total waste yet. You got this, what you got here? What can we do? What's good? And Arkeville's like going through his gallery of mad scientist devices.
We must mention the fucking secret lab entrance where, like it's hidden behind a rock and Dr. Arkeville literally says open sesame. And Starscream goes, wow, fucking original idiot, and literally slaps him out of the way.
And it's referenced later on in Prime.
It is.
Yeah, that's where that comes from.
And yes,
which I had forgotten about, but that is a direct reference in Prime.
it's beautiful. So, while the Decepticons are flying out to like curb stomp Starscream, the Autobots detect that the Decepticons are flying out and also go to chase them.
Oh, well, there is something that Starscream finds first.
Egg.
Yeah, he's... Archibald's like, can I offer you an egg in this trying time? And Starscream's like, is it an egg that swallows planets? And Archibald's like, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, so this is a exponential energy generator. My dude Archibald created like a fucking perpetual energy machine.
Yeah, but it wasn't sexy enough for him.
Why are you working with the Decepticons? You could literally just sell this.
It wasn't sexy enough for him.
Well, I think
it doesn't have panache. It doesn't have panache until Starscream gets there.
That's true.
Because if one thing Starscream has, it's panache.
He sees the potential.
If that's right. If there's one thing that Starscream has in spades, it's panache.
It's really his only positive trait.
And yeah, so Archibald's like, hey, I have this thing that is like a perpetual energy machine, and Starscream's like, what happens if you overcharge it? And Archibald's like, well, that would be really bad. It'd probably destroy the Earth. And Starscream's like, sounds swaggy, let's do it. And Archibald's like, hey, what?
During all of this, we're briefly cutting back to the Autobot Decepticon chase, where it's just like, the Decepticons are flying and briefly fighting with the Autobots and getting their asses beat, and then like Megatron literally falls in a pond ass first and goes, this isn't working, I need to figure something out, hang on. This is annoying. I'm
telling you, they are the Three Stooges in this episode. Like, no joke. Optimus and Megatron don't look good once in this episode. No, neither of them. They're both stupid for so many reasons. Stupid in their choices, stupid in their actions. They look like buffoons.
They really are just taking nothing but L's this week. Meanwhile, Starscream has built a timing device, which he explains to Archiville. So what this does, after 8 hours, this will ramp the fucking Super Football's energy production up to infinity, at which point it will collapse in on itself and explode / implode / completely destroy the planet and everything on it, and then I will be on Cybertron to suck all that energy up and give Cybertron like basically infinite energy. And Archiville goes, well, if you do that, everyone on the planet will die. And Starscream says yes.
Archiville goes like zoinks.
Yeah, this is where he gets
like zoinks, Starscream.
The more like distressed Archiville gets, which is an exponential ramp, as is his machine, the more shaggy like his voice becomes.
It's really funny because he like increasingly loses the faint trace of European accent.
Yeah, it's just gone.
But he's just getting more and more into like, you got any Scooby snacks, Starscream? You got any rustics for my horrific mechanical body?
So, speaking of, Starscream just kidnaps Archiville and takes him up to Cybertron.
Yeah, wait. Can I say one thing that I actually forgot to mention when we were talking about the interpositioning of like the Autobots and Decepticons chasing after?
Sure.
Which is when they're fighting, and the Autobots are kicking the Decepticons' ass. The retreat line that Megatron has is, retreat, these Autobots are too hero programmed to know when to quit.
Yeah. Bro, you're losing.
Bro, you take the L, dude.
Bro, you are losing. So
he's gonna dox his position with a pizza box in 20 minutes. Don't worry.
So Archiville and Starscream are flying through space, and Archiville's like, "Oh my god, I've just fucking doomed the entire human race." And Starscream's like, "Yep, but I mean, you'll be the only one left. That's pretty cool. That's like a cool thing to be, I guess." Anyway, we're here. And they get to Cybertron, and as soon as they walk in, Shockwave turns around and says, Megatron said no pets allowed in here, so you're gonna have to take him outside.
And Starscream's like, this is such a great exchange.
It's so funny.
This is such a good exchange. Starscream's like, hey, guess what, idiots? Megatron's dead. So now I'm literally the first in command. And Shockwave's like, I don't believe you. And Starscream's like, that's fair. Want to go tell Megatron about it? And Shockwave's like, I will. Or I would. But I haven't been able to reach Megatron in weeks. And Starscream's like, yeah, that's because he's fucking dead. Go ahead, try it now. And Shockwave attempts to reach Megatron and just gets, like, static back. And, like, Starscream's just like, what do you think, fuckface?
He just keeps trying to call him, and Starscream's like, I told you to stop, and shoots the fucking computer.
Right. Yeah, he shoots him, like, above Shockwave's head in a very clear physical threat.
Yeah,
and Shockwave is, like, so taken aback.
Fucking guy who is so loyal, he's never even thought of the concept of a fucking coup. It's like, what the fuck?
Again, though,
what's happening?
Literally not a coup.
I guess that's true. It's like, what the fuck is going on right now? So then we Arkeville, like, as Starscream's get all of the energy transference set up on Cybertron, Arkeville he's having a real fucking crisis of conscience right now that he realizes that, like, he has doomed everyone and everything he's ever known and loved to fucking die in a massive explosion and feel like a fucking omnicidal tyrant's expansionist plans. But we all make mistakes. We all make poor choices in life, and we just gotta live with it. We gotta move forward. So he tries turning off the, like, energy transfer because he can't stop the football from exploding, but he can at least make it sure that Starscream doesn't get anything out of it. But instead, what happens is that he gets a fucking electrical shock so hard he dies.
Meanwhile, we cut back for a very funny scene with the Autobots and Decepticons.
It's always quicksand. The quicksand's always there. It'll always get you.
Yeah, so Megatron not dealing so well with his fairly unglorious defeat earlier is like, all right, we're gonna get him this time for real. We're gonna use deception. You get it? Like our names. And they, like, I can't even remember what the context is, how they get the Autobots there, but they basically trick the Autobots into driving into quicksand.
You have to say what the fucking place they lead them to is called.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's called the Valley.
Death Valley.
No, it's not. It's not. It's called the Valley of No Return.
Valley of No Return. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's so funny. Anyway, they get stuck. Like, literally, they're driving in and starting to sink, and Optimus is like, I think this may be a trap.
Damn, bro, you think? Is that true?
He's so stupid. He's so stupid in this episode.
But don't worry. Unreal. But don't worry. Megatron's also extremely stupid because he's like, I've got you now. Hey, Laserbeak, you stay here and make sure they, like, sink while I leave.
You know what? I'm not going to hold this one against Megatron because Laserbeak's the most effective Decepticon on the team.
True.
You know this.
He nearly killed Prime before. So, yeah, he's actually leaving it in the hands of, like, his fucking cleaner, right? Like,
exactly.
He's the guy you trust for this shit.
Like, this one is actually, I'm going to give it to Megatron on this one.
Like, what are you going to do? Give it to Skywarp? Skywarp's going to trip over his own foot and fall face first into the quicksand. And forgetting he can teleport.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or fly, for that matter. Yeah. So, they're like, he's like, okay, Laserbeak, watch them sink. When the very last one has sunk beneath the sand, come join us. And Laserbeak squawks at him. Jazz is able to catch Laserbeak.
Okay, so Ironhide tries to do something. Laserbeak swoops on to attack him. Somebody hits him with a missile, which for some reason causes Laserbeak to get mode locked into tape form. And then Ironhide
it's those no ray missiles that Sideswipe has.
And then Ironhide freezes the sand with fucking liquid nitrogen so everyone can get out. And then Jazz says, hey, Prime, you want me to play this tape? And Prime says, as the Earthlings would say, "Lay it on me, man."
It's awful.
So
Why?
bad.
It's so bad.
bad.
Optimus and Megatron are awful in this episode.
Optimus, never say that again, please. Please never say that again.
I'm going to cancel Optimus.
Then, yeah, so they hear the thing about Arkaville's lab. Megatron arrives at Arkaville's lab and immediately falls in love with the big glowing football. He's like, "Ooh, hello."
well, before that, we get to see what happens to Arkaville himself.
Oh, God. So
Arkaville is dead. Arkaville is dead, and Starscream finds him.
And he's like, "Oh, it's fun, idiot. You thought we had it. I knew you'd try some shit. That's why I put a sentry system on the controls that shocks anybody that isn't a Decepticon. Take him to sick bay."
He's talking to, like, the 4th and 5th parts of Reflector who just live on the moon,
Yeah,
I guess.
they form, like, the fucking neck strap and the lens cap.
No, I think they're the telescope in the observatory there. Whatever. He's, like, talking to these 2 Reflector parts, and he's like, "Hey, have I ever told you what I got my degree in? Xenobiology!"
So Arkaville wakes up, and immediately, first of all, we're treated to a really funny shot of Starscream shot from a low angle. Starscream and Shockwave shot from a low angle. And then Starscream's like, "Hey, so your like old fleshy body's real shitty and lame, and it died from one electric shock. So I figured I'd pay you back for all your hard work and help by turning you into a unmoving metal monstrosity without any will of your own." And Arkaville says, "No, I don't like that."
Almost word for word, minus the first 2, which will be obvious. What you hear is, "Like zoinks, you've turned me into a mechanical freak."
Yeah, and Starscream's like, "Well, I could have just left you to die, so you should thank me for that, actually."
And yeah, he's like, "Well, you're alive, aren't you?" And Arkaville's like, "I can't move."
Yeah, so he's fucking, I have no mouth and I'm a screamed this dude. Cool stars. Shockwave is just
human centipede in his ass.
Shockwave
like,
Shockwave has no opinion on this. He's just standing here. He doesn't say shit.
No, actually the opposite. Shockwave is watching this all happen and he's like, "All right, I'm about to head out." And he, like, there's a shot of him running in the background out of the room, which he does, of course, to try to hail Megatron again.
Yeah, he's like, this shit's getting way too weird, man. I gotta see if I can call him.
Human centipede, not ironically.
So we cut back to the fucking football room, and Rumble's like, "Hey, boss, the Autobots are here." And Megatron says, "Great, I'm gonna throw a rock at him." And then he throws a rock at him.
Sure does.
Which works, but then Optimus shoots the rock, and then he runs into the lab ahead of Megatron, and then Megatron's like, "No, wait, don't take my football."
That's my egg, you motherfucker.
Back on Cybertron, we kind of see, well, we don't cut back yet, because it's a very funny thing that happens when we cut back to Cybertron. But yeah, they're in the egg room, and there's like in a standoff, and Megatron's like, "Listen, motherfucker, back off. I just want my egg. All right." But then he gets a call on his nipple phone, and Shockwave's like, "Oh, hey, Megatron, I've been trying to call you like fucking 70 times a day. Anyway, Starscream's gone fucking crazy. He rigged this thing to explode so much it destroys the entire world and everything on it, and you have 3 minutes to stop it."
Yeah. And before he's able to get that part out, literally it's the exact same reaction as the last time Shockwave tried to communicate with Megatron, which is, "Not now, Shockwave."
Yes. I'm busy.
As he's grappling with this glowing football.
Yeah.
Over this, with Optimus.
So at this point, both Optimus and Megatron kind of look at each other like the fucking Shrek meme and realize they don't want to explode right now. So they have to figure out how to stop the egg. And the answer to stopping the egg is just destroying Starscream's stupid egg timer, which he does. Megatron does.
Yeah.
At this point, we cut back up to Starscream, who says, "Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom."
Yes.
And he says, he's like, oh, there must be an issue with the timer. Arkeville, go to Earth and fix it. And Arkeville just looks at it.
I need to make an emoji of this Starscream as well. It's the
so
saddest man to ever exist.
Arkeville just says, okay, a few problems. One, I can't move. Two, even if I could and I went back down to Earth, you're the one who built the timer. What am I supposed to do? And Starscream, like, wordlessly stares at it for a little bit and then just leaves.
I mean, he doesn't just wordly stare at him. He, like, collapses on... He puts his head in his hands, on his elbows, on a desk. He is the saddest man to ever exist.
It's so funny. So, back in Egg... We're in fucking Egg football here. Because they're like, okay, it's not gonna explode anymore, so now we just have to make sure not to drop it. And then
Optimus does the most dumbass thing imaginable. You fucking idiot.
He steals the football from Megatron, who's like, hey, don't do that. And then he tackles Prime, and then they drop the egg, and the egg falls on the ground and starts glowing really bright and putting off a lot of gases, and both of them go, uh-oh. So then we have a maneuver here because they still have to work together here for a little bit. So they go outside, and they've got this egg that's about to explode, and it's going to take the whole planet with it. So
yeah, they're playing hot potato.
They're playing hot potato, the world's highest stake game of hot potatoes. So Megatron's like, all right, I have an idea. I'm going to transform. And then he says, and I quote, "Load me up, Prime."
So load me up before you go.
Load me up and pull my trigger, baby. So the plan is
hey, listen, we're just telling you what they said.
I'm just describing what happened. So the Optimus takes the oblong shape and shoves it down Megatron's hole. That's simply what happens. And then,
he plugs Megatron's hole.
And then Megatron shoots the load into the sky where it explodes and hits Starscream.
Yeah, he shoots his explosive load into Starscream. What's not clicking? I don't understand what the issue is here.
It's very simple here. We're simply describing exactly what happens on screen in this episode.
Yeah, Optimus makes Megatron shoot his explosive load all over Starscream.
And Starscream, who has no idea any of this is happening, just gets shot out of space and crash lands directly in front of Megatron. And he looks up and goes, "Oh, you're alive, huh?" And Megatron just reaches...
I feel really bad for him in this one. I'm not gonna lie. Again, he had good reason to think that he was, like, sort of in the right.
This is like the energy of that one episode of Prime where Megatron wakes back up and, like, interrupts the fight in the Arctic, and just, like, everyone... all the Autobots just kind of go, ooh, yeah. He's not gonna have a good time. Except here they're laughing about it.
It's awful. It's so bad.
Yeah, so Megatron just reaches down.
We think assault is funny.
Megatron just reaches down, grabs Starscream, and flies off without a word to Prime. Like, just leaves. And then the Autobots are going home, and Jazz is like, well, we're probably gonna see that's the last of fucking Starscream we're gonna see, because he's gonna die.
Well, what he actually says is, no, I think it's Ironhide who says, so what do you think he's gonna do to No, it's Jazz.
Yeah.
Who says, so what do you think he's gonna do to Starscream? And it's fucking Optimus who responds with, nothing gentle, I would say.
Everyone laughs.
What the fuck, dude?
Great episode, no notes.
So much for freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Yeah, no, if you look at that famous motto, there's a little asterisk right at the end there. And then if you zoom in on it, it says except for Starscream.
It's so mean. Like, it's really cruel.
It's so funny. So finally we're here, the big season finale, Heavy Metal War.
Where we put all our time, our energy, our budget, our blowout. Yes, this is it. This is the masterpiece. Let's fucking go.
Sorry, hi. I'm head of the animation team.
What's up?
We spent all our money on the Planet Destruction segments of Ultimate Doom.
Mm-hmm.
We have $3 left.
Designers, make it work.
So we start off at a construction site, as we so often do, with
Okay, if nothing else, at least we get these assholes.
I'm so happy the boys are here. So it's a construction site yet again. There's some kind of fucking miracle energy generator. Like they just make one of these every single day in this fucking world, and the Decepticons steal it every time.
Hasbro's Transformers exist in a beautiful universe where the 1980s was a golden age of clean energy options.
Yeah, we're just inventing like fucking looping energy devices, and I forget what this thing's even called. It involves discs somehow. I know that.
Yes. It's like the what was it? I can't remember, but it is absolutely called a disc.
But
damn.
Then this foreman guy is like, he sees a bunch of bright green construction vehicles coming.
Hey, can you guess how the foreman is dressed?
Well, if you guess anyway other than tan jacket, white shirt, hard hat, jeans, you fail the challenge. Because that's how every human in this fucking series is dressed. That's the uniform of human. That's it. The only people who don't wear that are Chip and Arkeville, because they're scientists and they wear lab. Well, I guess Chip doesn't wear a lab coat, but every other scientist wears a fucking lab coat.
Yeah, and the girls when we get to them.
Oh Lord, Carly
and Raoul. And Raoul. I forgot. I've spoken a lot about a story in Power Glide. Have not talked about as much about Raoul and Trax.
Trax and his human boyfriend. Yep. So,
who are not only not one-shot characters, but are basically something off of like Leather Daddy magazine.
They really are
for the 80s.
So, yeah, surprise, these bright green construction vehicles with Decepticon symbols on them are evil. And they ransack this construction site. Now, to be fair, to give them credit, these construction workers do fight back. It doesn't necessarily go well, but, like, they try. Now, I have a problem with how this scene goes.
Yeah.
So
and I will actually give them even more credit than that, which is, now this is a very low bar as well, but they are less brainless than your average Bayverse human character, because they immediately are like, hey, those trucks don't have drivers in them.
Hey,
that's fucked up.
That's the Decepticon symbol on all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Constructicons are running around loading all of the components of this weird energy disc thing into Longhaul's truck bed. And I was sad he didn't complain about this, because that's his one trait. He complains about doing work, which I relate to.
Yeah, I mean, they really needed a Decepticon huffer.
And so, Decepticon huffer is what they called me in college. And so, but I have an issue with what happens here. They put it all into long haul, and then they all transform and fly away. And later,
they subspace it.
Yeah, they subspace it, because later when
worry.
they get to the fucking cave they've been operating out of for who knows how long, long haul transforms and it all pops back into place. It's like, yeah, I guess he's got subspace in there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's subspace.
Speaking of that cave, helpfully, Megatron receives the Constructicons and says, these guys are great. I'm so glad we built them in this cave.
Yeah.
What?
And we get all of their names. So the leader is Scrapper.
He's the front loader.
He's the front loader. Mixmaster is obviously the cement mixer. Bone Crusher is the bulldozer. Hook is the crane. Long Haul is the loading truck. I don't even know what you call that. Oh, right, yeah. Dump truck, duh, obviously. And Scavenger is a shovel.
Yeah.
Which did you notice that they called him Scrounger at one point?
I did. I was like,
yeah, I was like, oops.
Got an early name. I know that guy. He's a wheel. He's not a front end shovel. But yeah, the only guys who really do anything in this episode are Mixmaster and Scrapper. Mixmaster really does a lot of heavy lifting here.
A lot of the rest of them don't do much at all, except for Hook, who ends up as the main medic for the Decepticons, which is like not great to begin with.
No, he's no Ratchet. So, but yeah, the Megatron has this whole plan. It's like, all right, I've finally got a plan to end this war for good. I'm gonna hit Optimus right where his only weakness is, his overdeveloped sense of honor. And Starscream has been standing next to him the whole time where he's been
There's
talking.
so many good lines here. Please go.
Yeah, as he's been standing next to him the whole time with a completely blank, slack-jawed expression on his face. At one point, he turns into Skywarp. Don't worry about it. That's fine. And he's like, well, how are you gonna do that? And he's like, you just fucking wait, Starscream. The really good lines don't come until later.
You're right. It's the next part. But yeah, it's Starscream's like, okay, .jpg
Sure,
for
man.
now.
He's just like, yeah.
He's like, I think I've heard that before.
Yes. He's like, oh, I haven't heard that shit before. And Megatron's like, shut the fuck up, man. Listen to me, Starscream. All of my losses cannot be attributed to me. I have been flawless the entire time. And like, sure, man. Whatever.
Yeah, literally.
Whatever,
I mean, no one's batting 1,000 here, but
no, but your record is definitely the worst. So, Megatron flies out to the Ark.
This is the best animation we're going to see in the entire episode.
Yeah.
So Megatron approaches the Ark and like Teletran 1 gets a signal, and Sparkplug is the one who actually like sees that Teletran is going off, and he's like, well, it's only one Decepticon, and it's like, do we have to worry? And Spike sees who it is like, we do when it's Megatron, in that exact voice, because that's what Spike sounds like.
So this is a new animation era for us. Cliffjumper is colored like Bumblebee. In the previous episode, Gears was briefly a Brawn clone. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Minibots is the same.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, Bumblebee's going out to fight, but then he shoots goo out of his hands. I was like, wait a minute, that's not what Bumblebee does. What? But then, after he freezes Megatron and Solid into a ball, it cuts back to him, and he's Cliffjumper's like, oh, that's good. But then Cliffjumper, like, he doesn't have any lines in this episode. All he does when he freezes Megatron, he's like turns his head to look back at the others with a huge fucking dumb grin on his face.
It's the bloodlust overtaking him.
Yeah, he's like, I did it, and Megatron breaks out of a stupid ice ball. Wheeljack.
Listen, this is the first. Well, okay, yeah. First of all, before all of this happened, so as Megatron approaches, everyone's like, all right, like, let's immediately get his ass.
Yep.
So they all try to get his ass, and like, there's this scene of like Megatron like swerving in the air.
He's swirling around, doing some fucking acrobatics.
Like, again, this is the best animation we get this episode.
Oh, yeah. Wheeljack tries to shoot at him with a new gun, which immediately explodes in his hands.
God bless him.
I think this is the first time we've seen this happen, and trust me, everyone, it will not be the last. This will recur quite a bit. If it's not used against him for evil, it will just explode. Then, Optimus is the one who's like, hey, why the fuck is Megatron not fighting back or whatever? And Megatron's like, hey, man, I just came to talk. I don't want to fight. I just want to talk. And so he flies down and says, Optimus, I challenge you to a fucking super ancient Cybertronian honor duel where the loser has to take his boys and leave forever. And Optimus says, sure.
Well, he's like egged on by all of the Autobots,
That's
basically.
true.
There's like...
Optimus is
I think it's Prowl maybe who's like, I don't know if we want to risk it, but then Wheeljack is the one who's like, on the other hand, the war would be over for good. And Ironhide's like, oh yeah, and you can super take him, and Sideswipe's like, oh hell yeah, you can super take him.
Yeah, and Optimus is like, all right, great, we'll fight at sundown. And Megatron's like, excellent, I look forward to a completely honorable and cheating-free combat encounter, my friend. So he goes back to his cave and is like, all right, boys, time to fucking juice me.
All right, everyone. So they open like a door in this machine that the Constructicons have created, and he's like, all right, everyone, go and slip your power chip rectifiers. New part.
Yeah, new part just dropped.
Yeah, your power chip rectifier's in there. And like Starscream, you go first. And Starscream's like, but I need that. And I don't want to. And
then he says, also, isn't this cheating?
Yeah, so he was like, why would you? Well, first he's like, why would you ask me to do this? Like, I need it and I don't want to. Like, what would this do? And Megatron explains to him, it's like, it's going to give me all of your powers. And Starscream says, well, but it's a dual Megatron. You wouldn't want to cheat, would you? And Megatron's like, I will do whatever it takes to win, including eliminating you, Starscream. And Starscream's like, I was only raising a legal point.
Also raising a legal point is Spike back at the Ark, who's as everyone's gearing up for this fight, he goes, hey, have you ever thought how they're called the Decepticons? And they can just
he does the John Cena line.
Yeah, they can just fucking lie. And everyone's like, no.
Doesn't that raise a red flag for you?
No, they wouldn't just lie like that. Come on, man. It's honor.
It's a duel.
Spike's like, yeah, okay. All right. So all of the Decepticons load their chips in, and Megatron gets he fucking like nuts as he gets all the strength. There's really no other way to put what the fucking noise and face he makes during this scene.
It's something. Starscream also is like, look, bud, they have like as like Megatron is like, yes, I'm undefeatable, and Starscream's like, yeah, that may be true, but if they realize that like you did this, it'll be worthless. And Megatron's like, well, they're not gonna realize that, Starscream. And Starscream's like, they have Teletran 1 who will immediately notice this.
He's like, not if I send my funny little green boys underground to sabotage it. So of
course, that's what he does.
The Constructicons go and start digging as everyone assembles for the big fight. And immediately upon shaking hands, Megatron gives Optimus the fucking joy buzzer.
So he starts off with Starscream's abilities.
And then Starscream excitedly turns to Thundercracker next to him and goes, hey, those are my cluster bombs.
Well, no, Starscream excitedly turns to Starscream.
No, at first it's Skywarp. It's only Starscream when it's Skywarp's turn to talk. I noticed this. It's like, oh, wow.
Okay,
it's
it's
Skywarp, it's Skywarp, and then when Skywarp says, hey, he did my thing, he's colored like Starscream.
Yeah, so he starts off with Starscream's ability. You know, his famous cluster bombs.
Are those supposed to be his, like, titty missiles? Because they aren't missiles, and they don't shoot from Megatron's titties.
They're not supposed to be jack shit. He's never used anything resembling a cluster bomb in his life.
Oh, no.
I don't know what this is supposed to be. Then he uses the null ray, which, okay, yes, I'll give that to him.
Yeah, and once again, I cannot stress enough how he's like, oh, he used my thing. To pointing at it excitedly while looking towards Thundercracker, who could not care less. Meanwhile, we get fucking reaction shots from the characters who matter most on the Autobot side: Sparkplug, Spike, Chip, and Ironhide. Also, there's a weird line earlier where they're all assembling for the fucking fight, where Chip is like, "Hey, Ironhide, doesn't this remind you of the gladiatorial games in Rome?" And Ironhide's like, "No, I don't know what that is."
Yeah, and Spike's like, oh, Earth history, don't worry about it.
Fucking
so
useless.
Stupid. So weird.
Completely useless conversation. Serves nothing, makes everyone actively stupider. Anyway, Megatron.
They had to fill time.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those clearly had to use fill time
and
things.
Like, it's look. When Quentin accidentally watched this episode instead of Fire on the Mountain for his episode a couple weeks ago, he said that the animation in this one was really bad. He was right. It's really hard to follow the line of action sometimes, because, like, there's a bit where Megatron uses Skywarp's teleportation ability to teleport to Nothing Personnel Kid Prime, except they don't take away Megatron's animation model from where he was standing, so it looks like there's an after image there, like a fucking hologram, but none of the Decepticons have that ability. And then they have to yell, Optimus behind you, and he gets shot in the back. Also, at some point they use Thundercracker's Sonic Boom ability, which I still
not how Sonic Booms work.
Understand how that works. Also, I like how Rumble, when Megatron uses his ability, he does the same things Starscream does, where he silently points in excitement.
Yeah, and Starscream comments really snidely about it, where he's like, Thundercracker and Rumble must be so proud, or at least their power chip rectifiers must be.
Why is he being so fucking bitchy this episode?
Can you not be a cunt for 5 minutes, please?
No, he can't. So yeah, Optimus gets his shit wrecked. Meanwhile, the Constructicons are continuing to burrow underneath the volcano. Mixmaster mixes up a fucking nasty dose of acid to burn through the rock. At which point, Teletrainer 1 detects intruders and wakes up the Dinobots, who once again are standing in a room until they are needed.
Yeah.
Please, Grimlock, please unionize. You deserve better than this.
I really like the implication of the scene where they're basically like, we got, like, the Constructicons say, like, there's Teletran 1, let's destroy it, and Grimlock's like, no, destroy Teletran 1, where it feels as though Teletran 1 is the Dinobots' best friends.
Yeah, it's the only one that'll ever fucking talk to them. And instead of like,
that's not true, Wheeljack does.
That's true, but he's their dad, it's different.
Yeah, and maybe Ratchet does, but...
No, Ratchet's a fucking distant mother. He's too busy working. They never see Ratchet. It's only Wheeljack and Teletrain 1.
He's a girl boss.
They think Teletrain 1 is their mom now. They just don't. They
that's
just don't
why
remember.
That's why he attracts trophy husbands in every universe.
That's so true. So yeah, Megatron's like, "Ha, you fucking lost, Prime. You have to leave." And Prime's like, "Damn, out of honor, I must." But he's also like, "I don't remember Megatron having that many powers. That's weird."
Well, he's like, I vastly underestimated him. What the fuck?
I didn't know he could teleport and shoot null rays and cause earthquakes and make sonic booms and make huge flashes of light. That's all the stuff his guys can do. I didn't know he could do it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe think about that, Optimus.
Because he got his ass kicked again, we get to hear Peter Cullen groaning.
Yep.
As he transforms back, and Huffer looks at him and goes, "Optimus, your tits look so heavy. Can I hold them for you?"
Well, it looks like you could use some help, Brian. Let me just get up there, and yeah, all right, I'll help you out.
And takes his carriage for him.
I'll pick your ass up, Optimus. Don't worry. So, by the time the Constructicons have gotten into the base, the Dinobots are up and they're fighting.
Oh, wait. I want to... There's one last thing I forgot. So this is actually the point where they actually get into the base. When they get into the base, they're trying to figure out how to actually, like, get through the floor. And it's Scrapper who's like, okay, Mixmaster, we need some acid to break through this. And Mixmaster's like, yeah, I'll get some hydrochloric, just like, he's like, I'm just gonna mix everything together. And I love how the mix of, like, the world's strongest acids just makes a world stronger acid. That's definitely how that chemistry works. And B, when he shoots it out, it's just lava.
Yeah, he's a fucking genius of chemistry. Don't act.
I love Mixmaster. You know, they really made the Constructicons remarkably stupid, given what their jobs are.
Like, yeah, none of them are really fucking bright, huh?
I mean, like, Scrapper's not an idiot.
No, that's why he's the leader. He's the only one. He's the only one with 2 brain cells. The rest of them only get 1 to pass around.
Yeah, Scrapper's average, and Hook is...
That's true. Hook is also, like...
Hook is average. I don't think either of them are brilliant, but both of them can put together, like, a plan of action, at least. You know what I mean?
I feel like Bone Crusher is like
Bone Crusher.
He's like Spinister levels of stupid, I feel. Like, just...
Mixmaster too. Yeah. That's not Mixmaster's almost more so, because then he's like, I'm going to, like, pull out this precise chemical formula.
Yeah, it's like, listen.
But everything else, he's a moron.
We need the world's stupidest man who only knows how to do chemistry.
Yeah.
So, the Dinobots and the Constructicons are fighting, the girls are fighting, but then, oh shit. Did you guys know that we make toys that fucking combine now? Check this out.
It is, like, unreal that combiners were introduced as a B-plot.
Yeah, why isn't this your plan?
Like, I don't understand that Devastator... Okay, Devastator's one of the coolest characters in Transformers history. Full stop.
Yes.
like, he's the first combiner. The Constructicons are, like, entertaining enough on them own, and, like, creating a gestalt from them, a combiner from them. It's just, like, it's so cool, and it was, like, so cool to see. And again, this is, like, a decade before, like, Megazords and stuff from Power Rangers. Like, this was really revolutionary stuff, especially regarding toys. And it was just, like, Devastator's so cool. And for it to be a B-plot and one of the worst animated episodes in G1 is just, like, insane to me. Especially given the legacy that combiners have now in the franchise.
Very ignoble. I mean, like, various combiners have various story roles. You know, Devastator gets to have some cool moments. Other characters, like Minosaur, for example, only exists to be chumps, to be fucking jobbers.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the Stunticons also only exist to be fucking jobbers and chumps.
But yeah, this is not a great showing for Devastator's first outing, I must say. The Autobots get back in to diagnose what's wrong with Optimus, and I would have to say that the problem is probably hurty bad.
Yeah, I would argue that Devastator does all right. He
That's
just
true.
gets tricked.
So,
I
yeah,
mean,
oh god.
holds his own against the Dinobots, which is more than basically any other character can say.
Later in the movie, he'd kick their asses, too, so he only got better at this matchup. Now...
Yeah, so as they're going back, also, before they diagnose him, Ironhide is like, so we're not really gonna leave Earth, right? because of that.
And Prime's like, we gotta...
Prime's
our
like,
honor!
Like, don't forget, Ironhide, we are cops first and people second.
And
the law says we can't. Oh wait, no, that's right. On their way back, that's what it is. We're on the way back. They see Devastator fighting the Dinobots.
And then Spike's like, "Yo, what the fuck is that?"
Yeah, and Ironhide's like, "We gotta help our Dino buddies," and Optimus is like, "No, we can't. We are cops first and people second. If the law says that we cannot help defend our friends from murder, then they must die."
And Ironhide's just like, yeah, sure, whatever you fucking say, Prime. But quickly, he immediately goes to tell Train 1 to see, like, hey, Prime? Yeah, he cheated. Megatron super duper cheated and, like, put all his guys' abilities in himself and, like, super duper cheated. And Optimus is like, oh, never mind. We can just kill him.
Kick his ass, babe.
So, alright. This...
Yeah, we get who is it? Is it Ratchet's trick? Wheeljack's trick?
This is fucking Hound's trick.
So, right, yeah. Of course it's Hound's trick.
Because guess what? It's a big fucking hologram. So Devastator is like fighting the Dinobots, and then we hear, "Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?" And Hound has made a huge Autobot hologram, which only exists so Prime can, like, use it as cover to shoot Devastator apart with a single blast.
Where the fuck is Skyfire in all of this?
He's chilling. He's napping. Like, he doesn't make up for any of this shit. So yeah, Devastator has been neutralized, and then Megatron's like,
"Rip this Constructicons, you sure were green."
And then the fucking Dinobots, like, stomp the Earth. And all of the Constructicons fall into the lava. They're dead, but they're fine. Don't worry.
No, as we've seen before, lava kills everyone 100% forever, for real.
Oh yeah, this isn't even in the first fucking time they've fallen in lava.
No, it's not. It might not even be the second time. It might be the third time.
Spike, you're really stupid. But yeah, then Optimus very quickly, like, defeats Megatron and throws him into the lava too. Because he's like, yeah, fuck you, you cheated. Actually, I'm cool and badass and you're fucked. And he knocks all the Decepticons into the lava. And Spike's like, golly gee, Prime, is it finally over forever? And Optimus is like, I don't know.
To be fair, like, this is at least one time where Optimus isn't like, yes, for sure. Optimus is like, who fucking knows?
He's like, I have stopped trying to guess at this point. And then we get, Megatron has a fucking I will return moment. That's it. That's the
Megatron
episode.
will return in the Avengers.
Yeah, he'll be back with that explanation next season. It's fine. Also, with that explanation next season, like 20 new characters will have joined. So, you know.
Including Rule and Trax.
including all of the cone heads, including like just a whole lot of guys will just show up one day.
Including everyone's favorite Perceptor.
Oh Lord, the little fucking nerd ass is here. He's gonna shrink down into Megatron's body, go on a car chase, and learn a lesson.
I love Perceptor because after the roaring success of Reflector, they were like, what else do kids want to play with? Microscopes.
But this one can also
but
turn
non-functioning
into a tank.
ones.
This one can also turn into like a weird gun platform. So it's cool. Yeah, that's it. That's the Heavy Metal War. That's the end of G1 Season 1.
So next week, so when you're hearing this on Sunday this week, we will be watching, I guess it's Age of Extinction, right?
Oh, no. You forgot one. It's Dark of the Moon.
Oh, I thought we did Dark of the Moon already.
No, we did not do it. I didn't do it over the holidays, so we're doing Dark of the Moon next. Yeah, so it's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
We have to do our wrap up. So Dark of the Moon.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Forgot about wrap up.
Yeah, Dark of the Moon is going to be. Now this is gonna be fun. I'll be moving on like the 20th or the 21st. So the 22nd.
Oh, muzzle.
So probably the 22nd is when Dark of the Moon will be streamed.
Alternatively, I could think about streaming it.
That would be helpful. And also that means you would have to watch it. You can't escape.
I know. No, exactly. This is payback. This is karma.
But we have some questions here.
Hey, you know what it wasn't though?
What was it?
It wasn't Revenge of the Fallen.
You know, that's really true. First, we have one on Twitter from our usual Twitter asker, Z Paladin at Mama Yamcha. What are the hosts' dual methods of choice, and could you defeat the other? Death optional.
I think that would super depend on the duel method.
I mean, the only dueling I'm proficient in
is Yu-Gi-Oh?
Proficient is a strong word, actually. The only one I know how to do it all is Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, duel monsters.
which would also be my choice.
Yeah.
I think I might have a shot. I have a pretty good deck I use. If I can use my EDO Pro deck.
Now, I will say, I do know how to use the Demise OTK, which puts me on advantage to you, I believe.
For that one, yeah, but that's not the deck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that's the only other one I do, because, this is...
And also, like, that deck that I had is not the real Ruin and Demise, because it was before most of the good cards in that deck were released.
That's true. I don't think it had...
So...
No, it did have AoE.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I could also say fighting games, because usually those are a one-on-one affair.
Oh, you would kick my ass. Yeah, you would kick my ass in fighting games. That's a no challenge.
I'm looking forward to Street Fighter 6. All right. Now on to Discord. We got some good ones here. Sky, Fire, Sapphire, Fire, Cass in the Discord. It asks, if Rogue from X-Men became a Transformer, what would her alt mode be? I think it would be like a sort of VTOL Jeep situation, right? Like a hover Jeep.
Well, she'd have to be a triple changer, right?
Oh shit, you're right. So it's like a Jeep, a hovercraft, and her robot mode.
Or she'd be like six shot.
No.
As many alt modes as you can put into one pitch.
I can't come up with that many alt modes.
I don't know. Basically,
she'll be like fucking Robots in Disguise Galvatron, who's a 12 changer.
Right, exactly.
They really started stretching for those alternate modes. They started reaching for some of them in that toy.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I can't tell you what all the alt modes would be, but as many alt modes as you could pile into that thing, that would be Rogue.
Or she'd be like makeshift, and she could like steal other people's alt modes or whatever. Not their appearances, just their alt modes. Yeah.
Do you think any version of Megatron would abide by the results of this duel? Probably not.
Running through them, like IDW Megatron at certain points in his character arc.
I don't agree, but only because I don't think IDW Megatron would do this duel to begin with.
That's true. He's too fucking smart for that.
Yeah. He and also because he wouldn't abide by it. He
definitely
wouldn't.
Not Beast Wars Megatron. That dude is. If you think G1 Megatron schemes, ooh boy.
Yeah, the points at which IDW Megatron would agree to this duel are not the points
don't
at
line
which
up.
he would abide by the
The-
response.
The math just don't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of them would. They're all sort of various flavors of scheming bastards, or just stubborn shitheads like Prime.
Yeah, they're just like not, even when they're debatably good people. I haven't watched Earthspark yet, and I hear that Earthspark maybe.
He's
So,
the only
but-
one up in the air, really.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it yet, so I can't say for sure certain. But I know enough about Earthspark Megatron that I think he's a possible contender. But like, the thing about like even in the like universes, I mean, Shattered Glass wouldn't do it if you count that. But even in the universes where he's not like a complete bastard, he's still not like honor doesn't particularly
No.
enter the equation, you know?
No, he has never been an honor guy. And finally, Cass asks, which Cybertronian has the most pretty privilege?
Mirage.
Yeah, it's Mirage.
And also Starscream.
Mirage, Starscream, Trax, all of the beautiful twinks of G1.
Sunstreaker.
Yep, just all of the beautiful Autobot twinks of G1 and Starscream. Why only Starscream and not Thundercracker and Skywarp? You say they are identical? No, they're not. Not in spirit.
We're introducing a new beauty pageant called the Beautiful Twinks of G1.
Well, see, I was gonna name the episode Decepticon Huffer, but now I'm not so sure. Shit, I'm gonna have to think. Matrix of Leader Thick, Sam in the Discord asks, in your opinion, is there a version of Starscream that genuinely would do a better job than Megatron? There is one textually, it's Prime Starscream.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think there's a good argument to be made for Prime Starscream, and I think there's a halfway decent argument to be made for IDW Starscream.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a massively corrupt politician, but...
Yes. Did he get to his officially elected status
through just a little bit of assassination?
Legitimately. No, he did not.
Just a touch of assassination.
Wanting to be like president of Cybertron following the wars, like wanting to be president of the United States right now.
Yeah.
It is a complete shit show. You're not going to do a good job. The best you can hope for is to do a not bad job. And this is also like considering he had no idea that he was part of larger machinations going on as well.
I also think Unicron Trilogy Starscream, specifically in Cybertron, puts in a fairly strong viewing or showing.
Yeah.
I mean, he fist fights God. Like, that's got to count for something. He doesn't win, but he does fist fight God.
And Megatron in the trilogy is very stupid.
He's a little bit less of a fucking dipshit in Cybertron, but that's mostly because he's off doing his own shit so much
Yeah.
that like it's almost not really a betrayal for Starscream to just also do his own shit. It's just that they have kind of separate paths almost.
Yeah. But yeah, so Prime is textual, and I think you could make an argument for IDW and Cybertron.
Definitely not animated.
Not G1. Not animated. Not Cyberverse. Holy shit, not Cyberverse.
Definitely not. From Nurse Lakin, CNR in the Discord, if Wolverine and Ironhide went on a mission together, how would it go?
There'd be a lot of, we really need his cup in there.
Oh, yeah, because like... Okay,
that's what we really need. We really need the cigar guys.
Yeah, Ironhide's old, but he's not like old. And Logan is like old. He looks like he's 40, but he's like fucking 240 or whatever. He needs to be with Cup. They just sit there smoking their fucking cigars and talking about all the fucking young whippersnappers around, thinking they're better than the old heads. That's what.
What do we think? What do we think is the Cybertronian equivalent to Canada? I'm gonna say Polyhex.
Who is from there that makes you say that?
It's just like it's the fact that it's like the not as good Iacon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Isn't Whirl from Polyhex?
Yes, he is.
Whirl is Canadian.
Which would
That explains
I mean, if we're
everything.
thinking about Wolverine,
It's like, let's say, why are you like this? So he's like, I'm Canadian.
I'm from Montreal.
Oh, he would be.
Now I'm imagining Will talking in a French Canadian accent.
I hate that. Oh, we gotta move on.
Cyclonus.
Someone should draw him in a toque, though, please. Attempt to with his fucked up weird head. Dick-wielding menace Daphnis in the Discord asks, do you think cyborgs would trigger the uncanny valley reaction in Cybertronians? What about androids or artificial intelligence? I mean, yeah, we know the answer to this. The answer is no.
No, they love that shit.
Okay, well, maybe we're unfair. Maybe Starscream is just a special kind of sicko because Shockwave does run out of the room.
Yeah, but he runs out the room to go tell mommy.
Yeah, but like Starscream, we know at least he fucking loves that shit. I mean, he would see the shit that happened to Hunter at an IDW1 and go like, "Yeah, this fucking rules. I love this."
Yes, ha ha ha.
It's fucking epic, bro. Optimus Prime Big Naturals asks, who hasn't gotten their own real episode yet that you would have liked to have a goofy spotlight episode on? It can be Autobot or Decepticon or a human. Just one that didn't get a real moment to shine. I need a Lambo Brothers Idiot Day.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they ever really get one.
I think well.
Like by the time they have enough space to do the spotlight episodes, they're old toys. They don't get the new ones.
I guess that's true. I think Reflector deserves to have a spotlight.
Oh god, what would that episode even be? He gets tired of the war and becomes a nature photographer. But then like he can't control his Decepticon nature and like kills a deer or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe he makes friends with the local art scene.
That's like a fucking G1 Marvel plot right there. Remember when the Decepticons started a fucking
nightclub?
A nightclub, but also in the comics they started like a fucking beach resort called Club Con. It's beautiful.
Listen, in this economy?
I don't know. Machina says, Southern Belle 90s Rogue or Southern Goth 2000s Rogue?
Oh, you know it's the Southern Goth. I grew up on Evolution.
I must say, like, Evolution did a lot of things to a lot of people, and their character designs slaps. I mean, forgetting Rogue for a moment, their version of Scarlet Witch is still the best version.
Yeah, that is a fucking punk rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scarlet Witch.
Fuck all this other shit. I want that one. Aren't they terrific? Aurora in the Discord asks, what's the coolest construction vehicle? It's the gigantic mining diggers that are like the gigantic buzzsaws. I like those.
I've always been really entranced by cement mixers.
They spin.
I always really liked them when I was a kid.
What's going on in there? They're mixing cement, but like, what does it look like? I was always afraid when my parents stopped behind a cement mixer that they would like shoot cement out everywhere and entomb us forever.
Yeah, kind of like a reverse Final Destination thing, huh?
Mm-hmm. Also from Aurora, are dinosaurs and construction equipment natural enemies? Well, if you look at the exceedingly popular children's franchise Dino Trucks, I think you might find that they are kindred spirits, perhaps even lovers.
What do we call excavators specifically?
It's true. Think about it.
We could be lovers.
And finally, two more from Aurora. What is the most extreme way to cheat at a contest? A gun.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah, it's a gun.
Like, rock, paper, scissors tournament, you can win with a gun. No one will like it.
No,
but...
hydrogen bomb. Coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb.
That was the fucking fight between Megatron and Optimus this episode.
Yeah, exactly. Coughing baby, your tits look so heavy. Ugh, that was a bad sentence. I hated it as soon as it left my mouth.
All-time worst fucking groupings of words. And finally, what is our favorite copy ability from Kirby?
I don't play Kirby games, so
Neither
I
do
can't
I.
comment.
I like going off of purely Smash, I like a couple of them. I like the Minecraft one because it turns him into a cube. And I like it when he eats Kazuya because it makes him look like American box art Kirby. With like the fucking angry eyebrows.
I also don't play Smash. I don't play Nintendo games, sorry.
I don't play them either. I mean, the last time I used my Switch was when I finished Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was like 3 years ago or something. So, you know.
Yeah, I don't play casual games for babies. I play hardcore games for men.
Exactly. Only serious gamers allowed in this fucking Discord. If you play that fucking wimp-ass, baby-ass Kirby shit, get out of here.
I say is God of War on easy kind of kicks my ass a little bit.
Well, folks, that's the episode. We've been Prime Cuts. I'm Nero. You can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher and on Tumblr at Cyclonus with a 5 and co-host at Dragon Snuggler. And you can find my various other projects in various other places. I'm taking a hiatus from Disney Plus. I don't know when I'll be back, but I probably will eventually. I'm focusing on other projects at the moment.
Like this one.
Like this one, and like my other one, Radio Free Heidelin at Heidelin Radio. A complete Final Fantasy 14 companion podcast, which is also on hiatus while I wait for the whole moving thing to stop being a thing. But it's returning in February, so don't worry about that. And also... Which
is great, because we will be on hiatus during February.
There you go. It all lines up. This is the fucking perfect calculus of my podcasting life. I do that with my friend Jane, who I also did the Podcast of Power with, at Podcast of Power on Twitter, about She-Ra 2018. It's a good show. And that's it for me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, and co-host, although the last one is empty, at Optimum on Prime. My funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcasts I do. It's called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We have finished season 4 of GX. We are about to start 5Ds, which I'm extremely excited about.
Going fast makes me feel alive. I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Something hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Since I found GX disappointing, I'm really hoping that I like 5Ds more.
People love 5Ds.
People love GX too.
Yeah, but less people.
I don't know, man. Yeah. But regardless, I'm looking forward to that. I was also I've mentioned before, cast in the pilot of a new audio drama that should be coming out soon. I'll have more information about that as it develops, and I also have a new podcast that has not started yet but is in development over at the Moonshot Network. So that's all of my stuff. We're Prime Cuts. You can find us on Twitter at Prime Cuts Pod, where you can find a link to our Discord. You can also find that link in the description of all of our episodes, which you should join. As Nero mentioned, we have a wrap up next week, but after that, we get to do our time honored tradition of fucking watching another movie between movies.
This one is not good, but it's also not the worst one.
The bar is on the floor. The bar is in hell,
Look,
actually.
Shockwave is here and he looks cool. He doesn't do anything and he dies like an idiot. But he has a big worm. A worm?
Shockwave, I will say, yeah, Shockwave looks super sexy in this movie. That is the redeeming quality, is that most of the Bayverse designs look like Garbo, but Shockwave looks amazing.
So if you want to see Shockwave and his gargantuan worm, come on by in a couple of weeks, and you will be subjected to Dark of the Moon.
If you want to see me act unwise,
you want to see like drunk hobo Megatron with a shotgun, I guess you can see that.
Hey, listen, you want to see more decapitations?
Oh, there's a lot of them in this movie.
This movie, you want some decapitations?
Do you want to
this
see
movie's got decapitations.
Do you want to hear Optimus Prime say, "We will kill them all"? You know, like Prime.
You know, like Optimus's favorite thing to say.
I will bathe in their blood and fucking murder their children. It's like, he's so heroic.
Well, he already killed all their children last time, remember?
That's right. He did kill babies in Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
To be fair, they shouldn't have brought babies to the battlefield in the first place, but you know.
No, but he did kill babies. You can also find us on the Noise Space Network alongside a lot of other great shows like Doctor Huh and Kamarocho Radio and the Sonic Shuffle and a bunch of other really, really good stuff.
Gay Friends Chainsaw Dog Sanctuary, whatever the Chainsaw Man one is called.
Yep.
I think it's
lots
that.
of stuff. Perfect.
Well,
you nailed it.
Until next time, I am going to collect all of my friends' various powers to defeat my mortal enemy in single combat once and for all, transform and roll out.
Oh, I'm going to recreate some really terrible horror movies. Transform and roll out. Peach.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers.